won't destroy any life or any environment.
And this could all come together sooner than later. The Australian Space Agency-backed Rover robot is confirmed to launch with NASA to the moon within the next 2 years.
In Japan, a large section of the elderly population are living with dementia or early symptoms of the condition. That number is expected to rise as the population ages. The challenge may seem overwhelming, but local tech companies are trying to help those in need. I've come to Tokyo to find out more about the scale of the issue and to see the technologies that are being developed to address it. Behind an indiscriminate door in the suburbs of Japan's capital, there's a special kind of eatery. This is the Cafe of Mistaken Orders, where you may not get the right order or any order at all, but where no one complains or makes a fuss about it. This cafe hires elderly people with dementia to work as servers. There is no cure for the condition, and patients like Mr. Morita can face physical and mental decline. Research shows that keeping patients engaged can hold off some of the symptoms, something Mr. Morita has benefited from by working here.
He struggles to answer questions now, but he still looks forward to this day so much. I'm deeply grateful that he has opportunities like this.
I like meeting all sorts of people. Everyone's different. That's what makes it fun. When we leave, I sometimes don't remember which way home is.
The robots being developed at Waseda University hope to be future caregivers for those seeing a decline in capabilities and to solve a chronic shortage of care workers.
Helping the people on the
AREC stands for AI-driven Robot for Embrace and Care. It's being developed to handle several tasks, from nursing, like changing positions, to daily housework. Let's see if it can find my foot. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, putting on a sock might seem like a simple task, but what happens with dementia patients is they sometimes have issues with hand-eye coordination or they have muscle weakness. So the team here is hoping that by developing robots like this, they'll be able to help them with these simple tasks.
It's extremely challenging because robots must precisely control the force they apply when interacting with people. That requires full body sensing and adaptive understanding, how to adjust for each person and situation.
This humanoid robot called 21 has body contact sensors built in, making it safe for interacting with elderly people. But robots like AREC and 21 are still prototypes. Researchers here say it may take another 5 years before they can provide physical care.
Robots should supplement, not substitute human caregivers. So while they may take over some tasks, their main role will be to assist both caregivers and patients.
Tech companies are also developing new ways to screen for dementia, including this tool from Fujitsu. Changes in how a person moves can be some of the earliest signs of the condition. AI Gate analyzes posture and movement using skeleton recognition. It's non-invasive and easy to deploy in clinical settings.
As more older people continue working, we want them to avoid illness and stay energetic. Early detection of age-related diseases is key. If doctors can use motion capture data, such as walking patterns or posture, they can intervene earlier, prescribe treatment, and delay the onset of dementia.
In the years ahead, Japan faces major pressures, a shrinking workforce and rising social care costs. These innovations may not replace humans just yet, but they could help stretch limited resources from screening to caregiving support and ensure older people stay active and engaged for longer.
festive season, the selection of toys seems to get bigger and bigger every year, from the cute and the cuddly to the robotic.
But we're now seeing more and more AI toys vying for our attention, such as Curio and Miko AI.
Hey, Jake, time to wake.
All of them talk, listen and learn, and say they offer companionship, entertainment, and to be friendly helpers for growing minds.
Meet Moughlin, this furry little AI robot from Casio. It's marketed as more of a companion for over 8 years old rather than a toy. It doesn't walk or perform any tricks, but it does respond to your sense of touch and friendliness, and it's supposed to give a sense of comfort.
But there are warnings from some children's safety groups to be careful if you're thinking of an AI toy for under the tree this year.
We've put together an advisory over the past week that really urges families not to buy AI toys, especially at this time when there has been no research and very limited regulation of AI.
Can you outline your concerns?
Various AI toys collect various amounts of data. Children are likely to talk to these toys about their deepest thoughts, their secrets. They're also very likely, as most children do with their favorite stuffed animal, to bring them kind of wherever they go. And that it can include really intimate settings like bath time or getting dressed.
One teddy bear in particular caused shocking headlines after the AI gave inappropriate advice to youngsters. It's now back on the market, with the company Folo Toy claiming it has stronger child safety protections. Despite this wake-up call to the industry, there are plenty of AI toys in development. Global toy maker Mattel, which makes Barbie and Hot Wheels, has partnered with OpenAI. We're still waiting to hear what the first collaboration will be.
Despite all this new technology, it's the classic characters that will always be loved by children. And with the new Toy Story movie on the way next year, it's these iconic characters that are here for the long haul. Ain't that right, partner?
No one's getting thrown out, okay? You must care about us or we wouldn't be here.
It's time to bring harmony back to the forest. Please join us. Save the tigers.
Thousands of people have come here to the Centre of Seoul this evening. They have come to celebrate the newly elected president, Lee Jae-myung.
He's been firing rubber bullets at the direction of the crowd, and it shows you just how volatile the situation is.
We're seeing scenes of destruction like this one across Mandalay, and the reality on the ground is there just aren't enough pairs of hands.
Given the scale of the attacks we've seen over the past 48 hours, it doesn't feel like we're in ceasefire territory.
There when the story breaks, BBC News.
The internet runs on attention, and over the years it's invented some pretty aggressive ways to steal yours.
Ever been ambushed by one of these? The pop-up. The internet's original jump scare. Annoying, chaotic, and weirdly persistent. But where did they come from? Meet Ethan Zuckerman. He's the man behind the pop-up ad. Back in the 90s, he was just trying to solve a problem. Advertisers didn't want their logos appearing next to questionable content. So Ethan wrote a bit of code. That code opened an ad in a new window separate from the web page. The solution was clean, safe, and in theory smart, but the effect was completely and utterly disruptive.
And as millions of users connected,
It didn't just stop at one polite window. Pretty soon, pop-ups were everywhere, and navigating through a web page felt like running a gauntlet. Flashing, blinking, talking at you. Click here to win. You've got mail. Your computer has 87 viruses. 5 single models waiting to meet you in your area. And most users just wanted it to stop. Cue up the pop-up blocker. By the early 2000s, browsers were fighting back. Built-in blockers became the norm, and one-click relief. Ethan looked back at what he'd unleashed. He said sorry. His words. I wrote the code to launch the window and run an ad in it. I'm sorry. Our intentions were good. So we fought back with pop-up blockers and mostly won. But that pushy attitude never really left the internet. It just changed shape.
you see it in the videos. They play by themselves.
Tired of the daily grind? Get on top of it. Car Surf Club, join now. Don't you dare skip this ad. Skip this ad, this ad.
In those complicated cookie banners, and no, I don't mean the kind with chocolate chips. I mean the ones that demand you to make a choice before you've even read the page.
And all the little boxes that pop up begging for your click. The good news is you're not powerless anymore. You have the tools. So, next time you're online and something tries to distract you, remember, you can always close the tab, click reject, or hit mute. The internet learned new tricks, but you get to decide how much noise you let in.
Taking pictures of moving objects can be difficult. If you set your shutter too slow, your object is going to be blurry. But if you speed the shutter up, you can freeze an object in time, string enough of those together, and you can recreate motion. Sure, easy enough for taking photos on the side of the road. But what if you wanted to capture something much smaller and much faster, like an electron circling an atom? Until recently, our ability to see the movement of electrons was still quite blurry, but that's changing. This is the SLAC National Accelerator Laboratory in Silicon Valley, home to the LINAC Coherent Light Source, one of the world's most powerful X-ray lasers. In 2023, scientists brought online a second, more powerful laser called the LCLS-2. Now, they're adding a suite of new tools to LCLS-2 that they hope will allow us to see and understand the movement of electrons like never before.
And this is really important because the very first step of any kind of chemical process is electron motion.
That can mean learning more about photosynthesis to help in our development of clean energy tech, or imaging proteins to better understand our own biology. This is thanks to two new major advances to LCLS-2 from the first iteration. First, it can deliver X-ray light at intensities 10,000 times brighter than the original laser.
And then the second one is kind of like related to this idea of the camera, the shutter speed. That we can get shutter speeds on the scale of attoseconds.
In attosecond, the unit of time needed to measure the movement of atomic particles, is close to a billionth of a single second.
2 attoseconds is to a second, as a second is to the age of the universe. So you'd say, wow, that's really like the blink of an eye, except it's so much shorter than a blink of an eye.
SLAC's first accelerator was built in the 1960s. It predated many of the more famous circular accelerators like the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. In 2009, they turned on LCLS-1, their first hard X-ray-free electron laser, or FEL for short. An FEL works by firing electrons down a conductor at close to the speed of light. As the electron beam travels, it passes through a series of alternating magnets to wiggle the electrons. The wiggling electrons generate an X-ray beam that flashes or pulses. The original version could fire about 120 pulses per second. Think of those pulses as frames we mentioned before, snapshots of movement at the atomic level.
With the first version of LCLS, we could see the primary thing that was happening, but we still had this blurry electron picture.
SLAC would take those snapshots and stitch them together in a sort of movie. but it could take a week of work to capture only 10 blurry frames.
If you've watched 10 frames of any movie, you have no idea what's going on in that movie.
The new light source, LCLS2, uses the same undulating magnet idea, but can create a beam that is much brighter and much faster. LCLS2 can shoot up to 1 million pulses per second. So if the first laser was like taking a photo in the dark with a slow shutter speed, the new source is like having an ultra-fast shutter on a bright, sunny day.
So we can make a very short shutter, and then we have a lot of pulses. By getting so many more pulses, you can look at much smaller processes. What is happening at this little corner of the molecule that you weren't able to pay attention to before? What used to take us a week now could take us an hour. And so now if it takes you an hour to make a frame, you can build up a lot more frames in the course of an experiment.
To operate so much brighter and so much faster than before, the new light source is what's called a superconductor.
So in traditional materials like those used for power grids, the energy when you transmit from one place to the other, there are a lot of losses. But in superconductors, this resistance is gone. It's zero.
To reach superconductivity, however, there's a catch. The entire system needs to be kept in a vacuum at temperatures close to those found in outer space.
Currently, most of the superconductors, they become superconducting around minus 100 Celsius.
To get the light source down to those sub-zero temperatures, SLAC installed its own cryo plant. The helium in this system works through a series of machines here that adjust its pressure, slowly stepping down its temperature. The cooled helium then runs down to the accelerator, keeping it icy cold. Back in the lab deep underground, the team are commissioning, or calibrating, one of the new tools that will allow them to glimpse at electron movements in more detail than ever before.
Right now we're commissioning a brand new instrument, and so we're really excited about this instrument because it gives us a new way to image what's going on inside of atoms and molecules.
The instrument allows the team to isolate a single molecule and focus the laser's energy on it. Over time, this causes the molecule to build up charge.
If you can put enough charge on the molecule, it will explode. And when it explodes, we use an electric field to collect all of those fragments, and we measure the momentum of the fragments. From the momentum, we can figure out what did the molecule look like. Now we can actually build a movie of what molecules do when you expose them to light that we couldn't take before.
These tools are drawing scientists from all around the world. What they learn here about the atomic world could help us form the foundation of technologies we haven't even imagined yet.
Today's computers, that is based on science from the 50s. We're shooting to understand the next generation of more complicated material. They're much more rich and complicated than the semiconductors such as silicon that's in your pocket right now. Our vision is by understanding these more complicated materials, we can make the type of devices that are going to exist in 20, 30, 40 years' time.
The first transistor wasn't just the vacuum tube made 10% better. It was a new technology. You need to do these fundamental research efforts so that you can figure out what is the next thing.